Hello, this is OverlordBou, back with another ship review video, and today we'll be looking at the new, upcoming Japanese super carrier, their Sekiryu. Now, like the previous super ships, the Sekiryu will be available for bidding in the 11.10 auction, running from December 1st to the 5th. Now, the minimum bid will be starting at 100 million credits, with the winner paying the lowest winning bid. Now, the number of lots is 500 for all the four service combined, so only maximum 500 of these ships will be going out during that. Now, as a reference, the winning lowest bid has been around 250 million for all auction super ships, so just take that as consideration if you're trying to bet on this ship. Now, she'll be formally released in patch 12.2 alongside the Super Kremlin. Be releases alongside with them. And then it'll be released in 12.2 as a super ship of the Japanese carrier line. Now, remember, you need 3 tier 10 researched ships, including the Hakuryu, before you can buy her. Now, I strongly recommend waiting for patch 12.2. Now, spoiler alert, while she is a very strong, she still isn't worth spending 250 million credits to play her 3 months early. Unless you're a diehard CV main with nothing better to do, I'd recommend waiting a few months. Now, going over the captain build and the ship crews will be shown on the top right. You guys can pause the video anytime if you're interested in looking at that. But going on from that, now for this guide, I'll be going over the hull first, then her strike planes after. Now, for the ship hull stats for survivability, the armor will be shown on the top right. Now, she has a 19mm bow/stern with armor with a 19mm side armor, the 95mm center deck armor, and a 40mm bow/stern deck armor with a 71,300 HP pool. Now, the Super CV's armor is fairly optimized against long-range gunfire. AP rounds will bounce off her heavily armored deck, and only Royal Navy battleship HE shells can pen her deck. However, the rest of the ship is poorly armored. 19mm is essentially destroyer armor plating, and she will die quickly if enemies can get close. If enemies catch her broadside or get close, as you'll see later in this video, then she will die very quickly. However, when positioned properly away from the enemy, she can prove tanky, bending enemies into firing ineffective volleys into her deck while her allies deal damage. Moving on to her secondaries, she has 14 twin 100mm 65 guns, 7 on the port and 7 on the starboard. 1700 HE shell damage of 6% fire chance, 30mm HE pen, 3-second reload, and a 7.3 kilometer range. It has normal CV secondary accuracy. While they have about above average performance, the secondaries are still lackluster and not worth investing in. If the match has progressed to the point where your secondaries are firing, something has gone horribly wrong. For anti-air defense, you get 12 flak explosions, with the far kilometer being 5.8, the mid being 3.5, the damage per second being 322 for the far, and for the mid is 522. Now, the Sekiryu's anti-air is quite good even among CVs. Combined with their auto patrol fighters, any attempt of a CV sniper will result in heavy plane casualties. Now, for the carrier, auto ASW range is 8 kilometers with a reload of 25 seconds with a damage of 4,900. You get 1 drop per attack, and again, the ASW is the same as other carriers. She'll automatically attack subs in range without need from player input. This will deter damaged submarines, but not full health submarines from sinking you. For the maneuverability, has a max speed of 35 knots with a turning radius of 1,360 meters. It has a 17.5 second rudder shift time, and God help you if autopilot drives your CV broadside of the enemy team, you are screwed. Though she is the fastest super CV, she also has the second largest turning radius of any ship currently in the game. Not a good thing when trying to parallel park next to islands. Or at least you can quickly run away with her 35 knot top speed, assuming you can turn around safely behind an island. For concealment, you have the sea base being 15.5 kilometers and the air being 14.5 kilometers. As expected of a super CV, her detection is not very good, so you need to use islands to hide your CV or move cautiously if you have to cross open waters, or just stay near the back of the map. Now onto our planes. Now there are 5 different plane squadrons, 3 standard and 2 tactical. Now for each of these, I will be showing on the top right that attack pattern of each of them in order. So whenever I talk about them, that little video segment will pop up on the top right for you guys to look at. For the attack aircraft, you have attack runs per flight is 3. Number of planes per squadron is 9. So you get 3 per attack. A hangar reserve of 14 with an aircraft restoration time of 82 seconds. The HE rocket damage is 3,150 with an HE pin of 30 millimeters and a fire chance of 14%. Now each plane fires 6 rockets per attack, so you get a max of 18 rockets per run. The aircraft HP is 1,510, and the cruise speed is 165 knots, and the max speed is 205 knots. And you do get 2 engine boosts for this particular aircraft, the attack aircraft. Now, the Sekiryu's normal attack planes has identical performance to Hakuryu's attack planes. They are effective at striking cruisers and DDs, but has a notably longer machine gun animation than other CVs. So it's going to be a little bit harder to hit DDs with these attack fighters. For the torpedo bombers, you get attack run per flight is 6 with 2 per attack. The number of planes per squad is 12 and a hangar reserve of 24. The aircraft restoration time of 78 seconds. The torpedo damage is 9,133, up to 2 per attack, and the torpedo speed is 50 knots with a torpedo range of 6 kilometers and a min-arm distance of 0.67 kilometers. With a flood chance of 40%, the aircraft HP is 1,820 with a cruise speed of 145 knots and a max speed of 185 knots. And you do get 12 aircraft for the full squad. Now, you do get 2 engine boosts, 4 plane repair parties, 5 built into it, 3 fighter charges, and identical performance to the Hakuryu's torpedo bombers. Now, the Sekiryu has the strongest standard torpedo bombers of any Super CV. She can strike targets multiple times, inflicting heavy damage and potentially causing perma-flooding. As you'll see throughout this video, I'll be able to pretty much damage over and over again different battleships with these torpedo bombers, as you'll see differently in the videos. Since there are 2 replays, you guys will probably have plenty of opportunity to see that. Now, even DDs aren't safe as well. Well-aimed torpedoes can remove half of their HP in 1 attack, which is devastating. And the torpedo bombers are your strongest and most versatile assets, so use them wisely and do not waste them. Moving on to the AP dive bombers, it has attack runs per flight is 4 with 3 per attack. Number of planes per squad is 12 with the hangar reserves of 18, with the aircraft restoration time of 76 seconds. The AP dive bomber damage is 6,800 with up to 3 per run. The aircraft HP is 1,790 with a cruise speed of 152 knots and a max speed of 192 knots. Has 2 engine boosts, 3 fighter charges, and has the identical performance to the Hakuryu's AP dive bombers if you guys are wanting a reference. Now, Sekiryu uses the same exact AP dive bombers as the Hakuryu. They're very effective against cruisers and some BBs, capable of dealing over 20k damage in one single drop to hit all citadels. However, they are very finicky, sometimes missing the citadel even with the ideal attack runs. Still, they are extremely effective as an integral part of your strike force. Now for the tactical bombers, you get attack runs per flight is 1, with number of planes per squad is 3, with 175 second cooldown time, which is 3 minutes and 5 seconds. The HE rocket damage is 3,150, and each plane fires 8 rockets per attack, so the max is 24 rockets per run. The HE pin is 30 millimeters with a fire chance of 14%. And the aircraft HP is 1,450 with a cruise speed of 173 knots and a max speed of 346 knots. Now, these tactical attackers is basically the fast boy version of the normal attack planes. Use them whenever they're off of cooldown. Great for catching ships after they use DCP or for kill securing low HP targets, or even just doing quick, easy damage. However, they are weaker against DDs as you will frequently fly past them before starting your runs, so it's better to go after cruisers or battleships with these. For the tactical bombers, the torpedo bombers, they get attacks per run is 1 with 2 per attack. Number of planes per squadron is 2 with a cooldown of 275 seconds. and which is 4 minutes and 35 seconds. The torpedo damage is 9,333, which is 2 per plane, drops up to 4 per run. Torpedo speed is 50 knots with a torpedo range of 6 kilometers and a mid-arm distance of 0.67 kilometers or 670 meters. The flood chance is 40% with an aircraft HP of 2,260, 2 for the full squad. Cruise speed is 148 knots and the max speed is 296 knots. These are the best torpedo bombers in the game, boasting excellent damage and high speed. Anything that gets hit by these torpedoes will lose a fourth to half of their HP. It is very devastating. On top of this, the tactical torpedo bombers can be used to complement her normal torpedo bombers, whether to finish off a weakened enemy or burn a valuable DCP. Now, my overall impressions, I would say average skill floor and the average to high skill floor. Randoms, I'd say is pretty excellent, and for ranked is very good. Her deck armor can resist enemy CV dive bomber snipes, while her torpedo bombers will take out half of their HP in return. Now, I'd say, though, the Sekiryu is the final carrier in the Japanese CV line and arguably one of the best super ships available. Her playstyle is very similar to the other Japanese CVs, so pretty easy to learn. And essentially a Hakuryu with tactical bombers, pretty much. Now, the dive bombers are your strongest squad, capable of sinking every ship in the game in the hands of a skilled player. Now, the tactical bombers complement your already formidable arsenal, available to strike anywhere on the map. Now, the first few minutes of the match should be spent on scouting enemy position deployments. While you mark your targets of follow-up strikes, move your CV into position. Better to do it now before you become preoccupied with flying your planes. Now, after 2 or 3 normal strikes, your tactical attack planes should be ready. Ideally, they would be used against cruisers or BBs who have just used their DCP, so you can try to get a permaflood or a permafire. But now, I'd recommend to use your torpedo bombers next. Focus on isolated targets and try to burn their DCP. Regardless of your success, the tactical torpedo bombers should be ready at this point. They will nuke any broadside ship. Definitely focus on the super ships, though you can sucker punch stationary CVs if they haven't moved already. After this, I'd say rotate between your normal squads depending on plane reserves and effectiveness versus enemy targets. And the tactical bombers should be used whenever possible, as they allow for quick strikes and don't use any plane reserves. Now, overall, I'd say the Sekiryu is a very strong carrier in a tier full of already strong carriers. Nothing is more disheartening to see a torpedo bomber squad rip away half your health, only to see a tactical nuke hurling towards you. Now, with that, that is going to be all the stat formation I have for the ship. So at this point, we're just going to watch the second replay whenever it pops up. So, yep. So in this match, I did 135k damage. I got second place, which isn't too bad. In this match, I didn't really perform super well. I was able to kind of target the DD, get the DD out of this area. And again, these super ships are credit cows, which they are meant to be. So don't really intend to make money on them unless you're putting a lot of your economic bonuses into them. So just be aware of that. So pretty much, as you can see, I'm taking the attack fighter first to be able to try to get the scouting runs onto the enemy to try to get pretty much just do the scouting for the area. As you can see, there's also only one DD on my team, so it's kind of like I need to make sure he doesn't die. So I'll be kind of staying on this side of the map most of the match to make sure he doesn't die early, because we all know what happens if your DD dies early. It's like a surefire way of that your match is probably going to not go well. So I made sure to definitely like stay around this side of the map the whole time. Also, with him being on this side of the map, it's also almost a guarantee that their enemy DD's also going to be over here too. So I'm also going to be trying to look forward to try to get him out of the match early as well. Now, pretty much as I was saying in the earlier information, it's always best to try to spot early, but that's something that, like, normally I spotted this side of the map and looking for the D9 I found them. As you can see the timer, it takes about 4.15 seconds pretty much to try to be able to, you know, the machine guns to hit the target. So it takes a long time to be able to try to hit the target for a DD. So doing any amount of damage with your attack fighters onto a DD is really nice. And here, I shouldn't have circled back. This was actually a waste of time. I lost a lot of planes doing this. It was a complete waste of time. And I should have just gotten the attack off to get that immunity period where your planes can't get killed. That was also a big waste as well. I feel pretty dumb with that. So yeah, that's a pretty big disaster. I didn't mean for that to happen. So yep, biggest disaster ever. I should have definitely just done the attack anyway, just to at least cause any sort of spotting, but I didn't do that. So that's actually a big rip on my part. Now, anyway, so right now I was trying to look for a battleship target. That's kind of what I was doing, looking for a battleship target to hit. It's kind of what I'm looking for here with these torpedo bombers. I should have taken the dive bombers out first, then the torpedo bombers. But I'm trying to look for like a really juicy target for the torpedo bombers, because these things can do a crap ton of damage. You just get attack runs over and over and over and over and over and over. But I'm also trying to provide some cover for my DD as well, trying to help him out. Because if he was just over there alone, it'd be really, really, really terrible. Now, I did place a fighter to be able to try to keep the DD perma-spotted. I did want to help out my DD to make sure he knew where the DD was. And as you can see, my DD kind of wants to go all the way around the side of the map. He's not really interested in the cap, which is fine. There is a Minotaur right there and an Edgar running around in the area, so I can definitely see how he's not really interested in going into that. So as you can see, I'm going to be going for the torpedo run here, trying to get as much as I can. Now, I did the first heal like right there, right whenever I first was starting to see the flak, just in case I ate some. But as you can see, I'm also trying to like run away as fast as I can. I kind of made the mistake, and I think I should have used the heal around then, right after my second squad went off, just so that while running around here, I didn't lose a lot of aircraft. Now, as you can see, I did get a flood on him, and he did DCP. That's why I didn't go for a run right away, because I was trying to get another flood on him after his DCP is done, because his DCP should be done right about now, which means you can try to go for a perma flood on him, which would be devastating for that battleship. Now, our DD was able to wipe out their DD with all their torps, so that's fantastic. And with their DD out of the way, our DD is going to be able to roam around and do whatever he wants without too much to be concerned about. And as you can see, I'm also waiting for the torpedo bombers, because these things are so much fun to use. So I'll definitely be using that in this match. Oh boy, those things are so fast. I love it. Oh my. I still just love how fast those rocket planes were. Like, it is, like, the jet are so fast. It is hilarious. I love it so much. It is just so much fun to do. I love it. It's amazing. They also do so much damage as well. It's really it's a disaster. Like, I love seeing it, but at the same time, it's like, it's a CV. It's just like, it's like, oh, why? Oh, poor thing. I did place a fighter over the hatchery here, I believe. That was kind of a mistake, because the CV wasn't going for the hatchery. He's looking for the thing that's spotting him, which is the D, which is what he's hunting down, and I really made a mistake there. I should have placed a fighter more south to try to perma spot either the CV so that the DD could smoke up. I really made an error there, so that's my bad. I should have placed a fighter more south there. But yeah, so far in the match, I'm pretty much trying to help my team secure the right side of the map. The left side of the map, it's kind of like a stalemate right now. So right now, I'm trying to see, okay, we need to win this flank. So I'm doing my best to try to put pressure on this side, to push them off, let my team get the cap. It's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. And I'm also going to be moving my CV down as well to keep putting more pressure on as well. That's kind of what I'm focusing on currently. I'm trying to push south, help my team be able to push south as well, win this flank. Because at this point, we need to really, really, really need to win this flank. We need to be able to push around. So I'm trying to focus my attention on spotting for my team at this point. And their Minotaur was gone for a little bit, so I was also trying to see where they went. And there's the battleship, and uh-oh, there's the Minotaur. Whoa. Yeah, I was surprised seeing a smoke Minotaur going down middle, but I've seen more surprising things, so I'm not really surprised. You always find something interesting at times. Yep, look at that. I get a nice clean run with these torpedo bombers onto the Montana. Beautiful. Indeed. And he gets detonated. Oh, no. Not running a det flag. That is the biggest tragedy of our generation. Now, with this run, it looks like it should hit, but for some reason, it doesn't hit. Like, I found it kind of weird. None of those torps hit. I thought for sure they were going to, but they never did. So I'm thinking that they did a split or something. Now, I did head back over here to try to spot the minnow, but as we know, it's a smoke minnow, so it's easily just going to smoke up and, hide, which is what it's supposed to do in these situations. But yeah, I did also let a crap ton of flak eat me too. That was really stupid. I thought that because the planes were unspotted that the flak wasn't going to come, but it still does for a little bit after. So I just need a chunk of the health. And I should have already F'd out and headed it back and try to use something else to spot them, but that's just me being stubborn at this point. I should have really just, I was really hoping to try to spot him at least or something, but that's my bad. I also was trying to get a reset on the cap too, because he was about to cap D as well. One of the reasons why I did that. One thing that I did make a mistake on is that you do need to try to use these planes, the tactical ones, as much as possible, because again, they are on a timer and they don't affect your main squads at all. So pretty much you get an infinite amount of these, so you might as well use them as much as possible. That's one of the main reasons why. As soon as you get them, you pretty much need to use them. Just get them out as quickly as possible. Save your main reserves for whenever these tacticals are pretty much on timer, pretty much. But no, dude, I love these jets. They are so much fun to use. They're so much fun, and these bombers also hit like a train. Good lord. I'm still surprised with how much they actually hit. These are by far the strongest torpedoes out of the super CVs. I don't think any other super CV is going to have as strong a torpedoes because the Japanese do have the strongest torpedoes in the game. So it kind of makes sense on why they would have the highest. It kind of makes sense in that regard. But for sure. But yeah, again, I'm really wanting to spot this Minotaur for my team. I really need to get him out of here. I should have done the attack a little earlier, right before the second one died. That's a big mistake there. I should have done it a little bit earlier there. That's a big mistake on my part. But I did get the torpedo in the flood, and my teammate was able to do a nice snipe on him because I was spotting him. So very good for my team there. Very nice. And looks like my team at the south was able to push in because the DD was cleared out early, and the rest of the team was cleared out as well. So looks like a very nice match indeed. Very nice indeed. Also, with their CV dead and DD dead, it's almost pretty much a guaranteed win. 100%. If you're able to kill off their DD early and then you get that CV kill too, it's almost 100% win. 100%. There's no coming back from that. The one thing I still need to learn of, I'm not the best at using dive bombers. It's one mistake of mine. I think I got one Citadel here. We should have waited a little bit longer. Okay, I can't read, but it looks like it did a lot of damage. I can't read, so if you guys could tell me how many citadels I got, I greatly appreciate it. I think it was 2 or 3, but if you guys let me know in the comments, I greatly appreciate it. The software that I'm using to look back on this replay makes it a little bit blurry, and my vision's already blurry. So it makes it really hard for me to see like ship names or certain numbers. So I'd appreciate if you guys could let me know how many citadels it was in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. But nope, at this point, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. I'm going to be trying to get these torpedo hits onto the Colombo, and you guys are going to see just how devastating these torpedoes are. Good Lord. I could only imagine, like, I've faced Hakuryu players that have just done this, and it's just so disheartening to get hit over and over again. That's why you never, if you see a Hakuryu or any strong torpedo CV in a match, you really don't want to be alone, because if you are, you're going to get slapped over and over and over and over again. And what makes the Hakuryu in this CV so devastating torpedoes is just how many squads it has. You have 6 squads of just 2 really hard-hitting torpedoes that has a really high flood chance of 40%, which is really high for a CV. Just look at the damage to start stacking. It's not even the flood damage. It's just the pure torpedo damage, and that's not even putting into perspective the tactical torpedo bombers, which are even worse. You can do you could easily do over 30k damage to a cruiser with the tactical torpedoes. Like, good lord. I did get greedy for this one. I should have just F'd that after the run, but I got a little greedy there. I'll admit that. I got a little greedy. I was looking for the damage. I'll admit it. But yeah, 212k. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Look at that speed. Almost 400 knots when you're going down from the elevation. And again, I'm not using any economic bonuses for this, so you guys can just see how much money you make if you run no economic bonuses. So I did 212 damage, got 3 kills. That's not bad. I got 2,000 base XP, 2,047. That's not bad. That's good. That's pretty decent. Yeah, look at all that. All that battleship damage. Oof. And yeah, I still lost 51,000 credits from that, which is justly deserved. But yep, that is going to be the video. If you guys have any questions or concerns, definitely in the comments down below. Yep, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time and for watching the videos all the way through. I'm trying to do it in this way a little bit more, where I do 2 replays and just kind of do commentary at the end. But yep, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys later.